Hello friends, Bendy here, and today we are going to be talking about why FNAF will never die out. Now, let's get started. FNAF has one, if not the most profitable brands of all any horror game. From things such as plushies, posters, board games, kitchen appliances, toys, and more. FNAF has found its way into the business industry and is making so much cash that I'm pretty sure FNAF is sitting on a mountain of cash. Scott, and if you're being specific in this matter, my personal favorite merchandise is probably the pizza setup for FNAF. Now, FNAF has so much merch, I can't even tell how much is there on the internet or out there in stores. I will say this, however, there is a lot more of it, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more coming our way. Now, on to the second topic at hand. FNAF has an interesting and unique community or fan service. From the fan games, the music, the animatronics, or even remakes about the main games made by fans. The other type of fan service is probably the VHS tapes on YouTube. This little series of tapes has made itself an entirely new genre, being called analog horror, which is horror that is inspired to look like an old recording of sorts from an old camera or VHS tape. The most recognizable VHS tapes out there for FNAF are the incident logs made by Reach Animations. The logs follow the concept of using Ennard as the main attraction or antagonist throughout the entire little series that Reach made. I will show you a glimpse of what these tapes will look like and what to expect from them. If you want to see these for yourselves, I will leave his channel in the description below. Now, here you go. So that's what to expect from these logs, but there are more creators that make this sort of content, so feel free to look for them when you have the chance to. But for now, it's time to move on. When I say there's going to be a lot of movies made, I mean there's going to be a lot being made about FNAF. From the origins of the Purple Guy, the remake of the books, or even just the retelling of the games. There is so much potential out there for FNAF that it's really quite exciting to think about, but also really scary. The reason I say this is due to that if there's going to be more films, that Scott might be more involved with them in order to keep the brand from going downhill, but also to make sure there isn't too many films being made on FNAF. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, however, there are many industries out there that are not really scared to drain FNAF just for a quick buck. Now, FNAF has much potential in the movie industry, so there isn't any worry about that when it comes to that. However, the only concern there is for the films is if those movies will be good or bad or whatever. Now, all we have to do is pray for them to be good. Now, before we go into the next one, if you got this far in the video, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Now, on to the next one. The lore for FNAF is one, if not the most talked about and complex things on the internet. Ever since the second game, many people have been trying to put the pieces back together in order to understand the backstory of the games. I'm going to be honest with you, so many people have tried to understand the lore, but as soon as they see how long and complex the lore is, they will just quit trying to understand just how ridiculous the lore is. People like Game Theory tried their best to understand some of the lore, but that task is easier said than done. MacBat has tried to soften and explain the lore every time he does, but every time he does do this, a new game comes out and now he has to fix the theory that he just made and just scrap it all together and just pick a new one. Now, I may be honest with you here, I just think the lore for this game or the series will never be solved. The reason I say this is, well, how much the lore has, or the franchise has, it's just really hard to explain everything to people who have never played the games or read the books. Even for the movie, so many people might be confused with it because, well, many people might be new to the franchise after the rumors of the movie coming out. So it will be really hard to understand on what the heck is going to happen or what is even happening in the film. That may be, honestly, the main reason the film took so long to be actually made. Not because of the scripts, although that is one reason that the film took so long to be made, but the main reason might be is that the fact that no one knows how to explain the lore in the movie and fit it in the movie script and try to make sense of it all and try to make people understand it in the movie. Now, after 10 years, or almost 10 years, the lore has been sort of explained, but the series is still going on, so that might be changed after a little bit, after a new game comes out or a new book comes out. Now, on to the next one. We all know how Fnaf is with the games. The games are some, if not the most hyped in all of gaming. Think about it. Most of all the games have been successful and performed exceptionally well. It's really hard to know if a Fnaf game is better than the other. The games have performed so well that the games still continue to take the internet by storm. The point is proven by how much content that is made and how much discussions are being made about the games daily. There is so much potential for this franchise that even I question if the series will ever truly die. The reason I say this is due to the fact that, well, for one, the games have been out for almost a decade. Yeah, almost 10 years. That's kind of ridiculous to think about. Now, the only other horror game series I can think that's been around for that long is Resident Evil. Now, let's all agree when I can say this. FNAF is and will always will be a series that will go down to be the most unique horror game series in all history of gaming. Now, that's all for me for now. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Now, if you guys want more content like this, please go ahead, like, and subscribe to the channel for more FNAF and horror content like this in the future. Now, take care and remember,
I always come back.
Okay, take care and stay safe.